Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today I want to go over a nice little story that came across my feed of a local Calgary man that is working on something to help diversify industry in Calgary, Alberta, and all of Canada. Um, in my mind, he's actually probably done more work than Danielle Smith to help the local economy, potentially help the local economy. And also, too, and you'll see when we take a look at the stories, you always can't judge a book by its cover. Let's take a look and we'll discuss.
A Calgary man has developed a method to grow saffron from his home and is sharing his process, which he says can be very lucrative for the Canadian economy.
We have taken out the crude oil or the black gold from the Alberta soil. Now I'm introducing a new project, Alberta Red Gold.
When not growing what he calls Alberta Red Gold, Vikash Sangwan works in IT. He says the spice sells at $50 per gram, approximately $50,000 per kilogram, which equates to 2.2 pounds, and that it's not very difficult to grow.
Right amount of light, right amount of temperature and humidity. Then we are putting this in August time, keeping it all like dark in here, no light, and temperature around 22.
Sangwan says that he's automated his box using artificial intelligence to regulate things like temperature and moisture, but adds that closer to harvest, they turn down the temperature and turn on the lights. But Sangwan has also had successful experiments growing it outside in soil and thinks this is a great opportunity for farmers.
We can teach our farmers how to diversify from normal like corn or barley or your canola to something like this, like a superfood, right? So if Canadian or Albertan or any of the Canadian farmers want to understand how it works, I'm happy to explain.
He says the only labor-intensive part of the process is the actual harvest, because he and his wife individually pick the saffron from the flowers, but he's working on building a robot arm to automate the process. And once that happens, Sangwan plans to expand to other superfoods.
So this is the first experiment, but we will bring cordyceps, ashwagandha, Chinese medicinal herbs, a lot of things in Canada, grown in Canada in a box.
Sangwan hopes to turn this into a full-time business and help Canada become a major player in the saffron and superfood growing market. In Calgary, Joel Mendelson, City News.
So, this is a great example, or this is not this shows you that you don't have to be born here to love this country. As we all, I don't know this guy's actual citizenship, but I could put money down that, of course, he wasn't born here, and that I don't know what his status is, if he's like a temporary visa, permanent residence, or if he's got refugee status or whatever, but he's contributing to the community. He's working. Not only is he working, but he's using his spare time to help solve some problems that Canada has in terms of in terms of diversification, trying to create new industries to bring in other income and to diversify to different partners around the world. How many of you, like true Canadians out there, and I say true, I mean like ones that are like just born here, are doing anything like this? This is a great example of like why immigration is good. You get people that come to this country who value its freedoms, its opportunities, and are utilizing. He's utilizing the freedoms more so than Canadians have been here for 3 or 4 generations. We take advantage. It's human nature. When we've had something for so long, we take granted of what we have. He might have come from somewhere where he wouldn't have been allowed to do any of this, or he wouldn't have had the means or the resources to do any of this. And he's appreciative of this. He's appreciative of the country because he's doing something in his spare time, which he doesn't have to. He just All he needs to be doing is just making money, providing his family, but he's doing something for the community, for the province, for Canada. And he's offering it to other Canadians, other farmers. As he said, if you guys want to learn, contact me. He's not saying, oh, contact me, we'll make a deal, whatever, and I'll sell it to you. He's willing to share this information because he knows there's enough room for everybody to make money. He's not greedy. What more Canadian is that? That's a pure example of a true Canadian. Sharing your knowledge, making sure everybody can profit, can benefit, that the community, that society will benefit from his knowledge. And what is Danielle Smith doing? Making the driver's license to start eventually going to have a Canadian citizenship stamp on it. So that anybody who asks for someone's ID, and they can make any excuse why they need to see their ID, just to verify if you're Canadian or not. How is that enticing people like this gentleman to come to Canada, let alone Alberta, and help them to contribute to society, to contribute to the community, to make Alberta stronger and better? She's too busy working on the oil pipeline, putting all her eggs in one basket. She herself and her party have lost potential to diversify the economy in Alberta. And it's too bad. She should be encouraging more like this, Canadian and non-Canadian people like this gentleman, because it helps everybody. So, like I said, I really applaud this guy. I wish him luck. And I think we should learn a lesson from this story, that he's not an outlier. There's a lot of people like himself that are willing to contribute to Canada, the country that they moved to, that they chose to move to make a better home for themselves and their family and their future generations. And we should welcome that. I'm not talking about open borders and bullshit, so don't put like words in my mouth. I'm talking about encourage growth and opportunities for people like this that want to make this country better. Anyways, that's it for me. I hope everybody can learn a lesson from this story. And let me know what you think. And if you have any stories of yourself where you've seen a newcomer have contributed to the community in any ways, like with business, open up their own business, volunteering, anything like that, I really like to hear that. Anyways, guys, take care. We'll talk later.